Have you ever been on the brink of falling asleep when you start to wonder if you locked the front door? Even worse, have you ever forgotten your keys when leaving home only to come back and find yourself locked out? Well, this happens to me all the time, and today I'm going to show you how we can put an end to this problem. To solve this issue, we just need a way to remotely lock and unlock a door, ideally by clicking a button on a phone or PC. Here's my solution. Firstly, we'll use two high-torque servo motors to physically swing a door lock back and forth. An Arduino Uno microcontroller can be used to send signals to those servos and interface with an HC05 Bluetooth module, allowing us to trigger lock and unlock operations remotely. Let's take a look at how these components are wired up. You'll see the servos and Bluetooth module are connected to the Arduino's digital pins. This is how we'll control the system. The arm on a servo is controlled via pulse width modulation, meaning we send a digital high signal to the servo for a certain number of milliseconds to move the arm by a certain number of degrees. There are two signal pins on the Bluetooth module that need to be connected, RxD for receiving signals and TXD for transmitting them. You'll also notice that we're using two battery packs here. Even though the servos I'm using can operate at 5 volts, they have a stall current of 2.5 amps, which exceeds the maximum current that an Arduino can deliver. As such, we need a separate 6-volt battery pack to power the servos. Now let's jump into the code. Note that for this prototype, the goal is to control the system using my PC. To achieve this, I use the software serial library in order to send and receive data to and from the Bluetooth module via the Arduino IDE's serial monitor. Here's the way it works. Once the Bluetooth module is paired with my PC, I can enter in a 0 or 1 to trigger the locking or unlocking procedure respectively. In the main loop of the program, we read what was entered into the serial buffer. If it's a 0, we call the lock function and transmit data back to the user, telling them the door is being locked. The lock function is simply two loops that write the position of the first servo, causing it to sweep 90 degrees and back. If a user enters 1 on the serial monitor, we trigger the unlocking procedure in the same way. Finally, here's a look at the prototype. Now, despite its appearance, it does actually work. Underneath this web of duct tape are the two servo motors, and it turned out that fastening them onto the door was a huge challenge because you need to precisely control the angle at which they contact the lock in order to get the desired range of motion. As you can see in this clip, I'm pushing commands to the system via the serial monitor, and you can actually see the lock coming in and out of the door. If I had more time, I would definitely design a permanent fixture for the servos and control circuit. I would also include some sensors to provide feedback to the user so they can be sure the door was successfully locked. And finally, I'd build an Android app to control the lock rather than using the serial monitor.